Okay, so this is video number 2 in the series of creating name badges and plates and such things. And we're going to be using Publisher today to do a nice quick version of, let's say, a name badge with some names and maybe some team names underneath it. We're going to do this from scratch. So let's get into it, and we'll just open up Publisher. So we'll just type in Publisher here and away we go. So the first thing we need to do is create a page size or a template that we're going to be using. So we'll start with a blank page like this, but we're going to change the size of the page. So we'll go to page size here and we're going to create a new page size. So we'll call it nameplate, or name badge, like that. We want it to be, I don't know, maybe 10 centimeters by about 4 centimeters tall. Maybe that's big enough. So 4 centimeters. We don't want any margins at all, so I'm going to basically zero these out completely. And the target paper size, well, let's just say it's going to be custom. We're just going to leave it as the same, which is 10 by 4 with no margins, like so. We'll worry about this one later on. So name badge, there it is. So this is our rather large name badge. Just hitting Control and reversing back a bit, we're going to just bring it down in size a bit. And what we're going to be doing is creating a mail merge. So the first thing I want to do is go up to mailings and click on mail merge, and we'll use the step-by-step mail merge wizard. So the first thing we need to do is to use an existing list over here of maybe a CSV file, which is a comma separated value file, which is basically a small Excel spreadsheet, or you can actually use an Excel spreadsheet if you wish. So let's go and find that data file that I want. In this case, I've located it over here with a little CSV file called names and teams, and it is comma separated, and the first row of the data contains column headers, which is correct. So here we are. These are all of the people in the names of the people in the team. These are the team names. We can scroll down. I think we've probably got about 180 of them, so this is a good sample and selection. Okay, so we've got two field names. So the first one is a name and then the unit that they belong to, which is like a team name. So the first thing we want to do is to insert a merge field. In this case, we're going to put the names, and this is the box that we're going to use to put the names in. Now, we will use a feature in Publisher that is called, restricting the sizes. So if the name is too big for this small box, we will automatically get it reduced down in size. So let's create that first. We're going to format the name so it's in the center. So we're going to align it right to the center of that box, and we're going to increase the size of this. Highlight it first. Ooh, increase the size of the text here. So we want it to be about that size. And moving forward, we'll right click on the box, and we're going to change the format of the text box. In that, we want the text to automatically shrink the text on overflow. So if the name is too big for that box, we want it to automatically shrink the text down. Okay, so let's do that now. That's okay. We also now want to do the unit name. So we want to go back to mailing, insert another merge field. In this case, it's the team or unit name. We're going to break this down and make it a little bit smaller here. Now this one, we don't want it to be as prominent as the name. Once again, we will go to the format and put it in the center, but we won't make it quite so big as the name or quite so prominent. Center it a little bit. We'll right click on the text box, and once again we will shrink the text if the name of the unit or the team is too big. There we go. So once we've done that, we will now we can either create the merged publication, or if we go back to mailings here, we can actually have a preview of the result. So here we have the first name, which is Hello, and she's part of the Daily Planet. We can move forward, going backwards and forwards, like this. So this could be a team name, so the person's name with the team that they belong to here. Now, obviously, if you're using a laser or something like that to do this, you can. This is just going to be one color, so we'll just leave it as black for the time being. The other thing, that if you're going to be lasering things and you want to cut this out, we want to put a cut line around the outside of this whole box. Now, to do that, it's as simple as just grabbing a shape, and in this case a rectangle, and we'll just pop it to make it the same size as the box. Oh dear, look at that, it's filled it in. Well, obviously we can go into the shape format properties, and we'll take away the fill, no fill, and we're going to change the color and size of the line. So we'll leave that as black for now, that's okay, but we're going to change the point size down to 0.05 points. It makes it very, very small, and for epilogue engravers especially, that means that it will treat that line as a cut line. So let's have a look at that. There it is. You can hardly see it, but it will treat it as a cut line. Okay, so click outside of that, and we're going to move that down to the back, send it to the back so we can see our text properly. Okay, moving forward, we're going to create the merged publication. There it is, very, very simple. Go back to mailings, and what I want to do now is I want to finish and merge. I want to merge it to the printer, so let's have a look at that. Merge to printer, and it says, oh, which printer do you want? Now, I've got Epson there, it's going to look pretty silly. Let's change it to my epilogue engraver. I want to go, not multiple copies, I want to go multiple pages per sheet. And then we have someone, just a different person on every page. And now I'm going to go in as select the page size, which is, in the last video we created a custom size just for the helix, and there it is. So now we've got the full size sheet with everyone's name laid out perfectly, and we could literally, if we really wanted to, we could just send that to the laser and it would cut it out. But if we have a look here, it's very, very close. We've got a very small gap between all of them. And what I'd like to do is just change some of the layout options. I want to change the side margins maybe to 5 mil, so 0.5 centimeters. Same with the top. Here I want to make that 0.5 centimeters. The gap in between them I want to make maybe 0.2, or maybe 0.3 centimeters in between them. We want to keep a little bit of a gap because with lasers being so hot, basically everything gets warped and bends and becomes unwieldy basically. Okay, so now we've got a lovely gap between all of our names. There's a bit of overflow here, but that's part of it. And now, as we can see down the bottom, we've got 4 pages. So every sheet is different. All right, and this is the way it's going to turn out. All we need to do now is to literally change our printer properties. In this case, we could change our speed for rastering to here, power down to, maybe 35 or 40, depending on the material we're using. And for the vector cutting, or the cutting of the actual labels, we may want the speed, depending on the material. Maybe we've got the speed down to 20, we've got the power up at, maybe 87, and the frequency for plastics is usually high. And we do all of our other normal settings and press OK. Once again, it's just changed it back out and move it to helix. There we go. And we press print, and away it goes. It would send that job off to the laser printer, and we'd finish fairly quickly. So in a matter of a few minutes, we've changed the way we do things. Instead of redoing this every time from now on. All we need to do is just save this template. So I could, for example, go save as a publisher file. We'll browse, we'll put it into my D drive here, and we'll call it 10 by 4 name badge. So the next time we need to do 10 by 4 name badges, the only thing we need to do is go into mailings and change our recipients. So we can either edit it or select it by using a new list, a different Excel file or a different CSV file, and then import it. We don't have to do anything else. All of the names and the formatting is already done. All we need to do is associate a new list with this template, and we can print it straight away. So hopefully this has given you a bit of an idea of how we can quickly create name badges and variable data for use with lasers using Publisher. Thanks for watching.